Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, everyone. How are you all? Is it all fine?
Fine.
Fine, madam. What about you, ma'am?
I am good. Shall we start the class?
Okay, ma'am.
Shall we start the class?
Start, madam. Yes, ma'am.
All of you mute yourselves. Don't create any disturbance. We will continue with the yesterday's topic, Sale of Goods Act 1930. Yesterday we have discussed the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sale of Goods Act 1930. When did the Sale of Goods Act came into force? It came into force on 1st July 1930. Girls, I am
Yes,
revising
ma'am.
yesterday's topic and we continue with the next topic. Sale of Goods Act 1930. It came into force on 1st July 1930. Sale of Goods Act is very old mercantile law. I told you it is a very old mercantile law. It is a special. This is one of the special type of contract. In contracts, you have in so many type of contract. In this, one of the important type of contract is Sale of Goods Act. It is Sale of Goods Act is complementary to the Contract Act. The basic requirements of contract are what are the basic requirements of any contract: offer and acceptance, legally enforceable agreement, mutual consent, parties competent to contract, free consent, lawful object consideration. Everything apply to the Sale of Goods Act also. Sale of Goods Act is a special type of contract which is complement and this is which is complementary to the Contract Act. Any sales or any contract of sale required all the basic requirements of a contract. Okay, what is a contract of sale? Contract of sale is where a seller transfers or agrees to transfer the property in goods to the buyer for a price. There is a contract of sale between the parties. Which we have a thing. What is a contract of sale? It is where the seller transfers or agree to transfer the property in goods. Means seller will transfer his property of goods to the other party and other party will transfer some amount of price. That is known as a sale of or contract of sale. Contract of sale may be absolute or conditional. Contract of sale may be absolute or conditional. Means sometimes it is normal, sometimes it is based on some conditions. Means conditional and unconditional. You can say absolute or conditional. What are the essentials of a contract of sale? That every contract of sale must have two parties. There must be two distinctive parties. Means buyer and seller should be the two different parties. And buyer and seller cannot be a single person. Then the contract will not exist. To exist a contract, you should have two parties. That is buyer and seller. And buyer and seller must competent to contract. They must be competent to contract. A minor cannot come into contract because it is not according to the Contract Act. And a incompetent person or lunatic person, a person with an unsound mind cannot make a contract. That is also wrong. The two competent persons, two persons who having a sound mind only come to a contract. Goods. And the second point for the essential of contract of sale is there must be some goods in the property in which it is transferred from seller to buyer. Means there should be some goods in the property. Means whatever in the contracts of sale, how much it is important to have two parties. It is very much important to have some goods, and there should be some price. There should be some consideration for charity's sake or any without money. If you are taking, that is not a contract of sale. Then transfer of general property. There must be a transfer of general property as distinguished from the special property. Means you are transferring some general property. That is your one. A owns it in goods. He has a general property in the goods. If he pledges them with a B, B has a special property in the goods. Means you should give your property, general property only. And all the valid essentials of any contract, essential elements of any contract is also very important to have a contract of sale. Means contract of sale should have two parties: goods, price, transfer of general property, and essential elements of a valid contract. Then what is sale and agreement to sale? Sale means the transfer of property at a time of formation of a contract, and it occurs absolute sale. When a property in a goods is transferred in some future date and not on the time of the contract, then it is known as agreement to sale. Means if you are when a property is transferred from seller to buyer at a time of formation, it is known as agreement to sale, absolute sale. But when a property in a goods is transferred at some future date and not at a time of contract, is known as agreement to sale. Understanding, girls? I am revising yesterday's topic and we'll continue with the next. Okay. What is the difference between sale? Yes. Getting, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then difference between sale and agreement to sale. What is a sale and agreement to sale? Sale is when a buyer transfers the property along with the risk or at the same moment. This is not sale. But buyer does not pass the owner with the goods, and the risk also does not pass to him. And it is agreement to sale. And it is executed contract, means already completed. Executory contract is agreement to sale, need to be completed. And the seller can sue the buyer for the price of the goods because the passage of the property therein to buyer. The aggrieved party can sue the damages only, not the price, unless the price was payable. Means what? In the sale, the aggrieved party seller can sue the buyer for the price of the goods because of the passage of time. And the subsequent loss or destruction of goods is a liability of buyer. Yesterday I gave you one example of a banana. When you go and purchase a banana, at the same moment you are going to give the money to him and you are taking the bananas. And if any destruction in the bananas after coming into your hand, it is your own liability. You cannot go and ask him that it was I when I am walking that the banana fell from my hand. Then that is not his problem. That is your problem. But when you go to a showroom and book the car, you have just booked the car, but you didn't pay the money or you didn't even took the car in your hand. So till it reaches to your hand, it is everything is responsibility of your every responsibility is of by seller only. Here the breach of contract. If you in the sale, if you breach of the contract, then what happens? The other party, against the seller, you can claim the damages and also a remedy for recovering the goods. But in agreement to sale, you can only ask for a damages in case of breach. Then formalities of contract of sale, and we have some different methods of contract of sale. Means there may be there may be a immediate delivery of goods sometimes you may be having immediate delivery of price, but maybe agree the delivery of goods in the future time. Immediate delivery of goods and immediate payment of price, it is absolute. It may be agreed that delivery or payment or both are in the made in installments, and sometimes delivery made in the future time. So if you have a number of modes, you can select any mode when you want to have a contract of sale. Conditions and warranties. Condition is, it is a stipulation essential for the main purpose of, till now you have studied about total what is the Sales of Goods Act 1930, when it is started. Sales of Goods Act started on 1st July 1930. And what is essential elements of a valid contract of sale? You should have two parties, price, and you should have
Buyer,
consideration.
seller, price,
Buyers,
cost,
yes.
seller, goods, price, transfer of general property, essential element, valid contract, capacity part.
Yes. Very good, very good. Yes. Then what is a sale? What is an agreement to sale? That also you have completed. Yes.
సేల్స్ మీన్స్ మేడం మనం వాళ్ళకి డబ్బులు ఇచ్చి కొనడానికి సేల్స్ అంటారు. అగ్రిమెంట్ అంటే ఒప్పందం, వాళ్ళ మధ్య మన మధ్య ఏదైనా ఆ కార్ ని నేను కొంటా అని చెప్పి అగ్రిమెంట్ రాసుకోవడం మేడం.
Yes. When the goods are formed, when you are shifting or transferring the goods at a time of formation of a contract is sale, but you are not transferring the goods at a time of formation is known as agreement to sale. Then what about conditions and warranties? Condition is a stipulation essential for the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives right to repudiate the contract and to claim damages. Condition and it is a stipulation essential for మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద కాంట్రాక్ట్. ద మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద కాంట్రాక్ట్ అనేది కండిషన్. ఈ కండిషన్ మీద మనం కొంటున్నాము. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫీచర్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ సేల్. దెన్ వారంటీ ఈజ్ అ కొలాటరల్ టు ద మెయిన్ పర్పస్. యూ షుడ్ బై. నువ్వు కొనాలి అంటే నేను నీకు ఒక వారంటీ ఇస్తా. వారంటీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎ గ్యారంటీ కార్డ్ లైక్ దట్ ఫర్ ఎనీ 1 year గ్యారంటీ, 1 year అంటే నీకు నమ్మకం కుదిరించడానికి. మా సంధ్య టెల్ మీ.
ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కొన్ని చెప్పారు మేడం, మీరు ఇది కొంటే మీకు ఇది గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తా నేను అని కొంతమంది చెప్తారు కదా మేడం.
ఎస్ ఎస్ ఎస్
వారంటీస్ అంటే అది.
yes. Then now what is the difference between condition and a warranty? Condition is essential for the main purpose of the contract. Warranty is collateral. Whereas aggrieved party can repudiate the contract and claim damages in case of breach. And aggrieved party is other party who is doing a breach chesina ante break chesina party kakunda other party ki emaitadi, other party can claim damages and both case of breach of condition. అంటే కండిషన్ క్యాన్సిల్ అయినప్పుడు అదర్ పార్టీ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ డ్యామేజెస్. బట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ వారంటీ యూ కెనాట్. యూ కెన్ ఓన్లీ క్లెయిమ్ డ్యామేజెస్, యూ కెనాట్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్. బట్ ఇన్ కండిషన్ యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ డ్యామేజెస్ అండ్ ఆల్సో బ్రీచ్ ఆఫ్ కాంట్రాక్ట్, repudiate the contract. In case of condition, the breach of condition may be treated as breach of warranty. అంటే కండిషన్ కొలాప్స్ అయినప్పుడు వారంటీ అనేది ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అవ్వదు. బ్రీచ్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్ may be treated as breach of warranty, but breach of warranty cannot be treated as breach of condition. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Passing of property in goods. What is the passing of property in goods? When you will pass the property in goods, contract of sale can be performed by 2 ways. Property in the goods or ownership of the goods and possession of the goods. అంటే 2 types ఉంటాయి మా. ఏంది మనము ఫస్ట్ టైప్ ఏంది, ప్రాపర్టీ ఇన్ ద గుడ్స్, టోటల్ ఓనర్షిప్ యూ విల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్. బట్ ది సెకండ్ టైప్ యూ విల్ ఓన్లీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ పొజిషన్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఓనర్, మీరు ఒక ఇల్లు కొన్నారు అనుకో, సపోజ్ యూ హ్యావ్ బైడ్ వన్ హౌస్, దట్ హౌస్ ఈజ్ యువర్స్, ప్రాపర్టీ ఈజ్ ఇన్ యువర్ నేమ్. yes
Yes, ma'am.
అదే హౌస్ you are in rent, means that the position is yours but you are not a owner. Means you are using the ama. So you can tell me.
మేడం అది వారంటీ అంటే ఒక వస్తువు పైన ఇంకో వస్తువు ఇవ్వడం ఆఫర్ అవుతుంది కదా మేడం.
ఒక వస్తువు పైన ఇంకో వస్తువు కాదు మా. ఇప్పుడు యూ హ్యావ్ పర్చేజ్ వన్ మిక్సర్ గ్రైండర్, he will give you guarantee card for 1 year. means 1 year లో నీకు ఎప్పుడన్నా రిపేర్ వస్తే నువ్వు ఆ కార్డ్ తీసుకొని వస్తే he will repair
అదే కదా
for free cost.
ఒక మీద ఇంకో వస్తువు అట్లా వస్తే గ్యారెంటీ
లే అది కాదు కాదు, ఒక వస్తువు అది ఆఫర్, అది ఆఫర్, అది మీరు కొనడానికి చేసేదే. కానీ గ్యారంటీ అంటే ఏంది, హీ విల్ గివ్ యూ గ్యారంటీ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ రిపేర్ రాదు. ఇట్లా గ్యారంటీస్ మనం ఎందుకు, వై వి విల్ పర్చేస్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్ దట్ ఇట్ షుడ్ నాట్ డ్యామేజ్ ఫర్ అవర్ యూజ్. అంటే అతను వారంటీ ఇస్తున్నాడు అంటే ద గాడ్ యూ కెన్ ట్రస్ట్ ఇన్ దట్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అని. ఇక్కడ పాసింగ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఇన్ గూడ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, ప్రాపర్టీ కెన్ ఇన్ ఎ కాంట్రాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ సేల్ ఇట్ ఇస్ పర్ఫార్మ్ యూ హ్యావ్ 2 ways. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఇన్ ద గూడ్స్ ఆర్ ఓనర్షిప్ ఆఫ్ ద గూడ్స్. అంటే యూ కెన్ టోటలీ గూడ్స్ ఓనర్షిప్ తోటి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయిపోతుంది. ఇంకొకటి పొజిషనే ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. వాట్ ఐ గివ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇఫ్ యూ బై ఏ హౌస్, దట్ హౌస్ ఇస్ యువర్స్, ఓనర్షిప్ ఇస్ యువర్స్, యూ క్యాన్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్. బట్ యూ గో టు ఎ రెంట్, వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్, ఓన్లీ పొజిషన్ విల్ బి యువర్స్. అదే ఒక గూడ్ ఉంటుంది. ఫస్ట్ you took a TV, what or you took it what house in loan. House kaadu, I'll give you one example. You bought a refrigerator, you bought a refrigerator for your house. The first case, you bought a refrigerator but but it is costing 20,000, you paid 20,000 and you bought the refrigerator. Okay. And second day what happened, you went to a TV showroom and you took a LCD TV. It cost you 30,000 and you paid a first installment and you took a EMI for that. Okay, understanding girls?
Okay, yes ma'am.
EMI తీసుకున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు రెఫ్రిజిరేటర్ ఓనర్షిప్ మీద కాదా?
మాదే మ్యామ్.
ఎందుకు అంటే నువ్వు మొత్తం యూ హ్యావ్ బై టోటల్ అమౌంట్, నువ్వు టోటల్ అమౌంట్ పే చేసినావు. దాన్ని నువ్వు డిస్ట్రాయ్ చేసినా ఎవరైనా వచ్చి అడుగుతారా నిన్ను? ఎనీబడి విల్ ఆస్క్ యూ?
No,
No,
ma'am.
because that you have buyed by paying total amount. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
అదే ఇప్పుడు టీవీ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అయితే హూ విల్ పే మనీ? డిస్ట్రాయ్ అయితే ఏం కాదా టీవీకి ఏమైనా అయితే?
వాళ్ళే తీసుకుంటారు, ma'am.
They will ask you
Ma'am.
because TV is not yours. You paid only some installment. Suppose 1 month you stop paying the money, what happens?
అప్పుడు అగ్రిమెంట్ ఇచ్చిన అతనికి కాల్ చేసి మాకు ఈ మధ్యలో మీరు ఇచ్చిన ఈ డేట్ లో ఖరాబ్ అయిందండి అని అంటే వాళ్ళు వచ్చి రిపేర్ చేసి వెళ్తారు మేడం ఫ్రీగానే. బికాస్
No,
ఆఫ్ అక్కడ
I'm not telling like that. Listen carefully. You have bought a television for 30,000 rupees. And in 30,000 rupees, you paid a first installment like 10,000 and you took the TV. TV is in your home now. Then every month you have to pay 2,000 rupees. 2 months you paid. Third month you didn't pay the 2,000 rupees. What will happen now?
అది మనమే చూసుకోవాలి మేడం వాళ్ళకి.
No, 2,000 కట్టకపోతే the owner will keep quiet.
నో మ్యామ్.
What he will do? Huh? You have stopped paying the installments. What happens? What the owner will do now? He will come back and take his television. Yes?
yes,
No.
ma'am.
లేదు నువ్వు టీవీ యూజ్ చేసుకో. ఐ విల్ నో నీడ్ టు పే లేటర్ అమౌంట్ అంటాడా?
తీసుకెళ్తారు మేడం.
తీసుకెళ్తాడు కదా. లేదంటారా? అంటే ఇక్కడ
తిరిగి
ఏముందండి, ఓన్లీ పొజిషన్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయింది, ఓనర్షిప్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ కాలేదు టీవీది. నీకు అర్థమవుతుందా?
yes, ma'am.
అంటే గూడ్ మాత్రమే నీ దగ్గర ఉంది, దాని మీద హక్కు నీకు లేదు. అది నువ్వు మొత్తం పే చేసి కొనలేవు కదా. దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ యువర్స్. యూ షుడ్ టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. అండర్స్టాండింగ్? అన్లెస్ యూ పే ద కరెక్ట్లీ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, ఇట్ విల్ బి యువర్స్. But in any collapse, any problem in the middle, it will go back. Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
A person may have possession of goods, but he may not be the owner. Example, servant, agent. On the other hand, person may be the owner, but do not have a possession of goods. In the contract of sale, when the ownership of goods is transferred to buyer from the seller, he becomes the owner of the goods. Understanding, girls? Servant is having a possession of goods, but he will not be the owner. Okay? Employee.
Okay, ma'am.
In a showroom, what one employee will be there, he will be taking care of that showroom. It means that he is the owner of the showroom. Huh?
No, ma'am.
He is the owner? No, he is not having owner. He will work only from 9 to 9. He is not a owner. He don't have any right. He is only having the possession. Possession ante that showroom is in his hand, but it is not his. Ownership is not with him. Means, what does it mean? Sometimes what happens, ownership will be in your hand, possession will not be in your hand. But sometimes possession will be in your hand, ownership will not be in your hand. Okay? As per general rule, the transfer of ownership depends on the intention of the parties to the contract. But sometimes the intention of the parties cannot be ascertained from the contract. And because whatever be the intention of the contract we are making, on him it depends. Okay, how ownership ela transfer cheyalanedi intention of the parties paina depend ayi untadi. In case the intention of the parties is ascertained on the basis of provisions laid by section 18 to 24 in case of sales. Sometimes intention వాళ్ళు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయలేకపోతే అకార్డింగ్ టు సెక్షన్ 18 to 24 లో ఉన్న లా రూల్స్ ప్రకారం you can make a provision. In case of unascertained goods, section 18 to 23. In case of specific goods, section 20 to 22. In case of sale on approval, section 24. Now we'll study transfer of ownership in case of unascertained goods. What are unascertained goods? Under section 18 of the Sale of Goods Act, unascertained goods are not transferred unless the goods are ascertained. These goods are not specifically identified at a time of contract. It is identified and set apart for the purpose of delivering to a buyer. Unascertained goods means in the Sale of Goods Act, unascertained goods are not transferred unless the goods are ascertained. These goods are not specifically identified. Unascertained goods ante enti? These goods are not specifically identified. You cannot identify this good. Later you will deliver it. Under section 19, transfer of ownership depends on intention of parties to an ownership. In case of specific goods are deliverable state and the ownership transfer from seller to a buyer at a time of making of contract. Okay. These three we will study again detailing in the next class. Transfer of ownership in case of sale on approval, transfer of ownership in case of specific goods, and transfer of ownership in case of unascertained goods. Shall we continue?
No, ma'am.
What are unascertained goods means? Goods which are yet to be identified and selected for sale and are in a position of the seller are called unascertained goods. Goods which are yet to be identified. First, I have to know what are specific goods, what are unascertained goods. Goods which are yet to be identified and selected for sales and are in a position of a seller are called unascertained goods. And ఇంకా అవి ఐడెంటిఫై చేయలేరు అలాంటి గూడ్స్ ఏమంటారు అన్అసర్టైన్డ్. లేటర్ ఆన్ వి విల్ థింక్ ఇఫ్ ఏ సెల్లర్ అగ్రీస్ టు సెల్ 1 bag of sugar from a lot of 1000 bags in a godown, then it is a sale of uncertained goods. అంటే ఏంది, నేను 1000 bags of sugar లో ఐ విల్ సెల్ యూ 1 bag. దట్ ఈస్ అన్అసర్టైన్. మీన్స్ యూ డిడ్ నాట్ సర్టైన్లీ టోల్డ్ అది ఈ బ్యాగే కావాలని నువ్వు చెప్పలేదు. సో దట్ ఈస్ అన్అసర్టైన్డ్. అండర్స్టాండింగ్? Then what is the specific goods which are identified and agreed upon at a time of contract of sale? And agreed, mainly you have agreed at time of contract of sale. ఇదే కావాలని అగ్రీ చేసి దాన్ని ఏమంటారు? You will say that as specific goods. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Unascertained goods is also known as future goods ma. అంటే future also you can tell. Okay? Specific goods and you specifically you are mentioning this is my good. I want this good only. Then it is known as specific good. Specific goods means these goods are specifically agreed upon between the seller and buyer at the time of making the contract. For example, a seller may agree to sell a buyer 1 out of 100 items of the same type without defining which specific item the buyer will receive. A seller may agree to sell a buyer 1 out of 100 items of the same type without defining which specific item the buyer will receive. అంటే క్లియర్ గా మనం మెన్షన్ చేస్తే దాన్ని ఏమంటారు? స్పెసిఫిక్ గూడ్స్ అంటారు. ఓకే. అన్అసర్టైన్ అంటే ఏంటి? మనం ముందు చెప్పలేము అది ఏందో. బట్ అన్అసర్టైన్ యు క్లియర్లీ విల్ నాట్ మెన్షన్. Understood today's class?
Understand, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are unascertained? Okay, then you have discussed about specific goods. In case of transfer of ownership in case of approval means, in case of approval, ownership to the buyer is transferred in 3 ways. When a goods are accepted by a buyer, when a buyer performs some act which indicates implied acceptance of the buyer, and buyer fails to return the goods within a reasonable time. Okay, we will continue the remaining topic in the next class. Thank you, girls.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, girls. Do you have any doubts? No? Yes.
Madam, once
Girls, do you
tell
have
me.
any
Madam, once again tell me, madam, what is the 3 ways, madam?
What are the 3 types? That we will discuss clearly in the next class. It is a big topic, but I am telling unascertained goods, and one more is
Specific group.
in case of specific goods, in case of approval, sale of approval. These three we will discuss in the next class clearly. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
In case of unascertained goods, in case of specific goods, in case of sale of an approval.
Sale and approve.
Do
Okay,
you have
ma'am.
any doubts now?
No, ma'am.